So today, we're gonna do something a little bit different. I actually have a question for you. If you could pick a frame that you could do everything in the game from now on, if you could put any frame in that position that you could probably take on every single mission and be happy with the outcome of the mission and the frame that you chose, what frame would it be? We'll get a few good choices. Wisp is one of them for sure, at least for me. Then we got, I don't know, Titania, Portia, like Ash, pretty good. Maybe Siren, Mesa. There's quite a few choices that are good on every single mission. Revenant, because he's dumb. But, you know. In fact, none of these is a perfect Warframe. And in my opinion, the only perfect Warframe in this game is Nova. So Nova is the only frame in my arsenal that I have actually exhausted all my configs with completely different builds in every single config. I have also exhausted my configs in Wisp's arsenal, but on Wisp I have just the same build with different abilities, and only these two are different in terms of what I actually use in terms of modding. So in the case of Nova, in this video we're gonna take a look at every single one of the builds I have, show you why I have so many builds on Nova, and show you what each of all of them does. And we're gonna start by first of all showcasing the Archon shards, because people are gonna yell. Casting speed and ability duration. That's it. That's all this frame needs. So first build, molecular fission, very strong mod. Very strong mod. And just a regular slow Nova build, meant for solo mostly, so I added Eclipse to give damage reduction or damage increase. Either of them is really good for me. And Arcane Acceleration to buff the pirate of my primary weapon. So molecular fission, the mod, what it does is basically when you kill someone that is affected by your 4, you get a stack of your 1 back. So if I run to this guy and I let my 1 get out, and then I shoot him, and we see that I'm back on 20 stacks. And what 20 stacks means is we get 90% damage reduction because we are at the max. So generally you have a permanent slow, a lot of damage because Eclipse plus the double damage you deal to enemies that are primed by your 4. And you know, generally this is just a point click adventure when you get something like the Comorix in the mission. This is why I picked it. Just heavy hitting semi-auto sniper rifle that does AoE. Yeah, this build is great. This build is like the standard. You can take it into any single mission in the entire game. This is your bread and butter when it comes to this Warframe. And most people will run this build whenever they want to play. But we got a few others, and some of them are known, but we're gonna go to one that is not as known. And every time I switch to it, it lags a bit. So this is the build. This is what used to be the meta for speedrunners. Before Titania's Razorwing Blitz mode was a thing, this was the fastest way to play the game.
Their rage is vehement, their focus impressive. Give them all warriors down.
It's basically grant yourself energy regen, spawn 3. There's a lot of precision to do this, but it's really fun. And as you can see, it can be kind of efficient. I've done around 29-second capture missions in the past using this build. It can be very efficient, especially if you become used to the tileset and you can predict where you need to go, like good speedrunners. And that's all the build does. It's just for speedrunning missions and nothing else. Which can be very useful if you're doing Nightwave, which is the main reason why I have it. Then we start to get spicy. So this is a build around here 4 that is utilizing Zarr's Whisper. But how does it work? So Pelarx, Fenmore, Lightum, these guns have the persistent attrition evolution at the end. And for some reason, Nova's 4, when you kill an enemy, the explosion takes any kind of buffs that your primary weapon may have, any kind of passive that is. Since the passive deals 2000% more damage and it's multiplicative with Zarr's Whisper, this makes your 4th ability one-shot level, or, you know, steel path enemies. So one main issue about this build is that it's squishy, but I don't think you would ever use it above, you know, the level that I'm playing. This base steel path is enough. So how this works, basically you kill one person, then you hope that the chain reaction will actually get the 2000% damage, and then just goes everywhere. So this guy, and suddenly they disappear as masses. Random guys just dying there behind the wall. Generally it's just a for fun build. I don't think this is like super viable, but it is very satisfying seeing people just die one by one in a row with the explosion. Like that. That is quite satisfying to see. Now, is it useful? Is it good for a squad? Is it good for anything? No, it's just a fun little build that you can do with Nova. And I think maybe with a coordinated squad you can do some stuff on it on Sanctuary Onslaught since it has good scaling, but that's about it. Oh yeah, as you can see, it is killing base steel path with an ability that is mainly focused around TC. that was nice. That was a nice chain of reaction. And up next we can start cooking. So this build is focused around an ability that hasn't been used in probably years, the ability and its augment. So Antimatter has this augment that doesn't allow you to be shot, and a lot of people don't really use it because they think Antimatter cannot deal damage, enough damage to kill at least. And I'm here to prove you wrong. So if we had Nourish, then Antimatter benefits from Nourish's actual viral damage. And I'm not sure why, but you're gonna see that if we press 2, first of all we cannot get hit because every bullet is affected by that, and then we throw it and 1.3. And you're gonna see that at some point it will just show some viral procs like it did on this guy. So for some reason Nourish buffs the Nova Antimatter to deal more viral damage, which can make it one-shot. Isn't that wonderful? And I don't know, the sounds in general and the feel when you play Nova, really nice. This build is probably the best one for solo steel path in my opinion. Very lazy, very strong because the radius of the ball is really big, and as long as you spam it you cannot really die. You can combine it with shield gating, and then every time you press 2 you also shield gate and get the immunity. You can clearly see how this is completely stupid. You also saw kind of the difference between damage numbers with and without Nourish. Before I dealt 190k, now I dealt 1.1 mil. So, yeah. I think this is the build that I like the most personally. It is definitely the most interesting out of all of them. The only kind of downside that I have with this is that here I could probably use something that is a lot better than Iris Hatred, but I have to go with it because of the polarity. Maybe this mode, but I don't need any more strength. My strength is enough, and duration is kind of what I want. But I just wish I could get Prime Continuity here. I think Prime Continuity is just straight up better here than Iris Hatred. Also, Umbral Forma is not needed. I have Umbral Forma only to get 145% strength on config A. That's about it, but yeah. This is an insane build if you can max it out, in my opinion. Probably the best one. And as I said, go shield gating, maybe. I don't know. Even though you don't need it, you could probably go Arcane Aegis here, right? To kind of protect yourself. Aegis or Barrier, something like that. Probably. Then this is the 5th build. So the 5th build is focused around here 1 with the Neutron Star augment. This augment was nerfed to the ground after it got reworked. Like they reworked it, and then literally around 2 weeks after, it got completely gutted because everyone was just spamming Elite Sanctuary Onslaught with Nova and Harrow and completely destroying it. You could also level up frames really quick with it, but that's still viable. I'll make a video on that very soon. But generally, what would you use this build for is just low-level exterminate missions. You can completely one-shot anything in the start shot, so energy gen, nourish for energy, spam 1. Anything around you dies.
Use the synthesis scanner to trap the creature.
You know, before the nerf, this could go through walls and it was just completely busted, but now it's just a fraction of what it used to be. Still good, just not OP, unfortunately. No, but has to be perfectly balanced after all. Yeah, it took us 1 minute to do this mission. Even Eximus enemy dies very quickly. Skip procs go nuts.
Broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
Oh yeah, a minute and a half for an exterminate mission in the void is arguably pretty decent. Obviously, if you wanna optimize your, you don't want to play Nova, you just want to optimize a mission, you would probably just go with Titania. And this is the last build, and the last build is something that you guys are very familiar. This is the build that you will take if you want to go as a squad on Steel Path, and it's revolved around Speed Nova. So Speed Nova, in case people don't know for some reason, I don't know how people wouldn't know about Speed Nova, is if you get your strength below 70%, then your slow actually becomes a speed up, because it would go below 0% slow. So with 10% strength, we get a minus 30% slow, and this is useful to make missions faster and to bring enemies closer to you, therefore providing the squad in a survival mission with more drops, and providing on a defense mission a faster mission because enemies come closer to the objective at a faster rate. So nothing really to showcase here. This is just a normal dummy press 4 and wait for enemies to arrive build, and it's squad related. But as you can see, every single config had a different every single config had a different kind of approach to the build, and every single config did something different. This one was the standard, this one never loads properly, was speedrun though. This one is for nuke with hero 4, this one is for nuking with hero 2, this one is for speedrunning missions with hero 1, nuking with 1, and this one is the speed Nova. So Nova is the frame with the most variety in the entire game. We can take a look, I use pretty much every augment that she has. Not even pretty much, I actually do use every augment that she has. If you really want to do everything, this frame can do everything. And I swear there is so many ways to build her, and every way can work. I love Nova. Thank you for watching. Discord and Twitch links will be in the description below. Feel free to hop on my Discord to talk about things related to the game, about your favorite gun, or other things in life. And I hope to see you on the next video. Okay, bye.